The doctor said I wasn't supposed to wake up. That's what my wife told everyone. That I was gone. That I was already lost. But I heard everything, every word, every whisper, even the one that made my blood run cold. Once he's gone, it's all mine. And in that moment, the darkness around me was no longer just sleep. It became something else, a secret, a betrayal, and I was wide awake. I remember the moment I woke up, not with a gasp, not with a scream, but with a silent terror that rattled through every fiber of my being. My body was still rigid, betraying me with absolute silence. I tried to move a finger, blink an eye, whisper a word. Nothing. Only the echo of my own thoughts, bouncing around inside a prison I couldn't escape. Time lost all meaning. Seconds, minutes, hours, they blurred together. All I could do was listen. Heartbeat thudding in my ears. Breathing shallow and forced. Every sound from the outside world felt distant, muffled by an invisible Panic wall. Rose, fierce and wild, but there was nowhere to run. Only questions, the kind that claw at your sanity. Was this a nightmare? Was I broken? Or was someone else watching, waiting for me to realize the truth? It took hours, maybe days, for the fear to change. Helplessness gave way to something colder, sharper. My mind started fitting pieces together. The voices outside felt wrong, calm, rehearsed, never surprised by my silence. Bits of memory flickered behind my eyes. Faces, fragments of conversation, moments before the darkness swallowed me. And then I knew this wasn't an accident. Someone wanted me to be trapped here, awake, aware, completely at their mercy. I am Adam, and I'm still here, waiting, thinking, hoping someone will hear me. Because this cage isn't invisible anymore. It's real, and someone holds the key. Everything felt ordinary, until it wasn't. Our mornings began with quiet rituals, the warmth of shared coffee, the comfort routine. I believed we were fine, safe in the rhythms of our life, sheltered from any storms. Sometimes, the silence between us felt natural. She'd linger just a bit longer over her phone, or whisper into it late at night. I rationalized it. I told myself, everyone grows busy. The world moves fast. But now, replaying those moments, I wonder if I was blind. The space between us widened, quietly, almost imperceptibly. The laughter faded. Her glances became fleeting. I struggled to recall the last time she looked at me like I mattered, like I was still the person she reached for. I missed the subtle shifts. The hints dropped in passing. The sighs, the words unsaid, the glances that stopped lingering. Now, with hindsight, the pieces come together. I realize how easily we lose sight of each other right in front of our eyes. Before the incident, everything was normal. Or so I thought. There are nights you never forget. Nights where the details slip into the shadows, and all you're left with is the feeling they carved deep inside you. This was one of those nights. I remember the bar's dim glow, murmurs drifting through the air. Her silhouette appeared beside me, graceful, confident, carrying something more than just a drink in her hands. She smiled. Her eyes held mine. In that moment, trust seemed easy, almost inevitable. The glass met my palm. Cold, trembling slightly. I hesitated, unsure why. Maybe it was a flicker in her stare, lingering an instant too long. Maybe it was just the night, already blurred around the edges. But I drank. She watched. Not a word spoken. Not a laugh shared. That's the last clear thing I remember. After that, nothing. No sounds, no sights. Only darkness swallowing every trace of what happened next. Now I wonder about everything that followed. The questions haunt the edges of my mind, and the silence is deafening. What else lingered in her smile? What was hidden in the depths of that drink? All I know is, when the night turned black, I was changed. And in the aftermath, I can't shake the feeling that clarity may never return. Doctors called it a medical emergency. A flurry of voices, urgent footsteps, The clinical hum that fills the air when something goes wrong and every second matters. It was sudden, a twist in the ordinary, something that didn't belong here, something rare, something unexpected. Most would see desperation, fear, maybe even grief. But lying there as machines whispered and nurses moved with practiced precision, I watched her, eyes sharp, breath steady. She wasn't overcome by sorrow. She wasn't mourning what was lost. Her words weren't soft with regret or broken by pain. She was calculating. Every gesture measured, every sentence woven with purpose. Beneath the surface tension of crisis, something else was at play, something almost invisible, almost haunting. I realized with chilling clarity, she wasn't grieving. She was planning, plotting her next move with the calm that only comes from certainty. In that moment, the emergency transformed. This wasn't a tragedy unfolding. It was a crossroads, a catalyst, and I saw not just what had happened, but the shape of what was to come. When life turns sharply, the truth is not always in the noise. It's in the silence, the space between breaths, where the real story begins. She believed I was no longer there. Maybe it became easier for her that way. So she let the mask slip, the careful words faded away, and all that was hidden came to the surface. I heard her on the phone, her voice relaxed, unguarded, as if I was a memory swept away. She made plans for the future, talked about what she'd do with the house, what would happen to the money. Her laughter was unfamiliar, almost like someone else had taken her place. And then, slowly, the truth settled in. There were conversations, whispered in secret, not meant for my ears. Hints of another life, another person. Each word cut deeper than the last. Every sentence, a scar that refused to heal. I listened as the pieces of our life unraveled. I carried them with me, each promise lost, every lie exposed. And those memories, they don't fade. They're burned into me, whether I want them or not. I live in their shadow, even now, still wondering how you say goodbye to something that won't let you go. Days slipped away, sometimes quietly, sometimes with subtle ache. I tried to measure them, but they blurred into a single stretch of long moments became indistinguishable, each one echoing the last. And every morning, I woke to the same question. Am I still here? Still listening for something that never truly arrives? Patience is not just endurance. It's an act of faith. Waiting is a quiet battle, fought in the space between hope and doubt. I watched the world shift around me, watched shadows fall and sunlight return, always in cycles. But my place never changed. There was a constant, a quiet thread running through it all, the whisper of anticipation, fragile yet persistent, weaving its way through the silence. And so I waited, not because I had no choice, but because within that waiting lay possibility. What if one moment changed everything? What if the very next chance was the one I'd been listening for? It's the thought that keeps you anchored when everything else fades, the hope that still remains, even when time loses shape. I am still here, still listening, still waiting for that one singular moment, one chance to step forward and to let everything else fall away. Then it happened. A still room, lingering uncertainty. In the softness of morning, a nurse noticed something, a subtle shift, a barely perceptible movement. A flicker of life where silence had grown. For a moment, nothing else seemed to matter. That single reaction, so small, became the spark that changed everything. Hope entered quietly, settling in among careful glances and cautious optimism. Tests followed, gentle and unobtrusive. The nurse and doctors moved with measured calm, honoring the fragile possibility now before them. Each step was careful, each action a prayer wrapped in science. Because if this was what we suspected, if that movement was more than reflex, then the implications reached beyond simple recovery. It was proof, evidence that healing could begin by noticing the faintest signs. Attentive care could turn uncertainty into affirmation. In that space, hope moved silently, filling hearts and changing what it meant to witness a miracle. The day I opened my eyes, the room felt unfamiliar, too quiet, except for the frantic beat of my own heart. She was there, standing by the window, a practiced smile painted on her face, relief flickered in her eyes, but not for me, for herself, like she never wanted this, like she wished I'd never remember. But I did. I remembered everything, every whispered word behind closed doors, every careful plan made in the shadows, each choice pretending it wasn't already made. I saw through the promises, through the calm tone and soft reassurances, all meant to keep me silent, to keep me doubting. A heaviness filled the space between us. There was no more confusion, no more searching for truth. It was all clear now. The betrayal wrapped in gentle hands, the comfort hiding 1,000 lies. My voice, quiet for too long, ached to rise. This time, I wouldn't swallow my story. This time, I wasn't staying silent. No matter how steady her facade, my resolve was fiercer. She could not erase what I remembered, or the strength I'd found in speaking it. It all began the day I opened my eyes and decided I would be heard. They called me a liar, said I was making it up, until the recordings came out, unfiltered, undeniable. Every call was another nail in the coffin of the story she tried to bury. Suddenly, it wasn't just my word anymore. It was her words echoing in the dark, unraveling everything she'd built. People listened, faces changed, doubt turned to shock, and then to silence. She didn't lose a reputation. She didn't just lose friends or status or a comfortable life. She lost her freedom. I'll never forget the way they let her out, the hush that fell over the room. And through it all, her eyes found mine, wide, searching, haunted. As if she was staring at something she never expected to see again. A ghost. Maybe I was to her, but I wasn't dead. I was the one who came back. The one she never thought would speak. The truth she could never hide from. And that's what she saw as they closed the door behind her. A future she never meant to face, and a past she could never escape.